from the NTSB. So yes, I think that we will respond. We have a process in place to provide them feedback on each one of those, and we will carefully assess their information, the report, and each recommendation.
When will you have your initial review and response to the recommendations?
As soon as we get the report, as soon as the report is published, we'll begin our review. And as I indicated, I think there's a timeline that I don't know if it's laid out in our MOU, but there's a time frame we meet. I don't know if it's 30, 60, or 90 days. But we will certainly meet that and do our best to meet the timeline that's established in the procedures.
Mr. Curtis, when will it be finalized?
The report will be out mid-February, on the 15th, and the recommendation letters will be right around that time. But so
Is it a 90-day response cycle? Is that?
the 90-day response cycle will start right around mid-February, maybe a little earlier, but soon. But they have been released in the abstract of the report.
Okay. And presumably, I can't count, there are 53 specific recommendations. I lost count somewhere around 30. Okay. We'll be interested in hearing the response from the Coast Guard. Also, does the shipping company or companies also respond?
Yes, it's the same process for all recipients of NTSB recommendations, sir.
Okay. Well, we'll await that. Thank you very much. I yield back, and thank you. And I do have specific questions for the record.
Without objection, could the gentleman authority to submit questions for the record. So we're looking for, from the Coast Guard and from NTSB, the matrix that he's talking about earlier. I got those confused. He would like the types of ships, and correct me, Mr. Garamendi, if I'm wrong, the types of ships that are like the El Faro that you've been looking at now, the same year range, I guess, that are out there. I think that's what he was asking for, not the matrix of recommendations and accomplishments, which is separate. So both of those things. But we'd like to see all of those ships that you're out there looking at now, saying these could be at risk. In closing, I drive a '97 Expedition, right? If you were to go through the checklist on my truck, there's probably a lot of stuff on it that is not correct, like the middle seatbelt in the back doesn't work, the airbag's out on the passenger side. But if I take my seatbelt off as a driver, and when it's pouring down rain and go driving on the freeway at 90 miles an hour and crash it, you can look to all those things that weren't up to code in my truck. But the reason that it crashed is because I drove it